Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at Yugioh Forbidden Memories on the PlayStation 1. Now this is a real nostalgic favourite for me. Just seeing this box instantly transports me back to Video Easy in I guess 2000 probably it was when this came out in in Australia and PAL territories. This is not the most amazing game in the world, but it really has some uniqueness and charm to it that I don't think you'd really expect from a licensed Yu-Gi-Oh game. But just before we get started, I've actually got my own physical release coming out from Limited Run Games. This is my game that I've worked on for 9 years, 8-Bit Adventures 2. It is a Japanese-style RPG with a focus on story and characters and turn-based combat. So if you like that kind of game and you're a big physical collector like me, please consider checking it out. I really appreciate any support. Okay, so let's get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. As you can see, we've got this great artwork of Pharaoh Yugi. We've got the Chaos Magician up there looking amazing as usual. And we've got the villain of the game looking much more imposing here than he does in the actual game, in my view. Because it's a PAL version, this is published by Atari. And so this is the version released in Australia. So that's why it's got atari.com.au listed on there. And so for some reason, Atari put a big sticker on every single one of their Australian games. And we also got a G rating sticker, which is interesting to me because there's probably some darker implications than G rating in this game, because you start out in ancient Egypt, which is one of the most interesting parts about this game. You're really like the pharaoh, or at least the prince anyway, in that continuity, and so you end up kind of inhabiting Yugimoto's body in the same way that the pharaoh does in the anime and manga. Yeah, on the side here, unfortunately my copy is actually a little damaged in here, sadly, but we do get the logo. It's a PAL version, so it's a chunky spine. And then, if I can get past for light, you can see we get this great hieroglyphic backdrop. We get some screenshots of the action in the game, as best as I can show it, sorry. So basically the game is a combination of a card game and a visual novel where you can sort of go around to different locations, talk to people, make decisions. And you can also make the 3D models of all the monsters fight each other, which is a really cool detail, although one that sort of gets undermined by the gameplay a bit. So, if we can open up the box. Unfortunately, the other problem with my version is that the disc holder is broken. Unfortunately, it came like that in the mail, so yeah, but we've got this beautiful disc here anyway, of just the Millennium Puzzle in this, yellowy gold color backdrop with the hieroglyphic background, on the back of the box. It looks really stylish. But yeah, now that we don't have them as much glare, I can really focus in on this beautiful cover art. This is what convinced me to buy the game, and this is what, every time I see it, I just think this looks amazing. What great art design. So we actually get a full color manual, which was not always the case, and obviously we get a nice close-up on the Magician of Black Chaos. Now, Forbidden Memories is really interesting because it comes from a time before you really had the modern version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Established. And so it means the rules of the card game and this sort of lore of the world and all that sort of thing was only half established. You were sort of just coming off of Season 0 and Season 1, territory. So you get this great little, what would you say, prophecy, I guess? The knowledge of the cards to become one with the knowledge of a duelist. And then you get this great little journal entry from Pegasus J. Crawford. You actually get his signature and everything. And he disappears in the story, which is interesting. Konami is actually part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! World in this continuity, is the way it works out. That's interesting. So yeah, Pegasus has brought Duel Monsters to the video game format. So we're getting a bit of a weird, fourth wall break, but in-universe there. We get our characters. So of course, the Pharaoh is just the hero. Tayana is I guess that's Taya's full name in the English dub. Jono. So not quite Joey yet. Simon Moran, Seto, of course, that hasn't changed, and Haishin, who's the full-on villain, as you can no doubt tell from his crazy eyes. Obviously we get screenshots and we get an explanation of how to play the game, and the way that the card game works in this is very weird, but I also really like it. The balance is the main problem with this game. The systems that they have are quite interesting, but the way it's all balanced doesn't really work. So the game is all built around card fusion. So the idea is that you are fusing, you can essentially try and fuse any monsters together whatsoever to create a more powerful monster. And certain types of monsters will be able to fuse and create more powerful ones, and you just kind of have to feel around and figure out which ones it is. You know, so this is breaking down as well, like card data, attack points, defense points, the type of the card. Then you also have cosmic alignment though. And I think we should get to that shortly. Here's a cool little blue eyes white dragon. Getting cards in this game is really hard without cheating as well. Because you can put in the codes from your real world card collection, which is great. But then it charges you star chips, which you earn by defeating opponents for those cards. And things like the Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dark Magician are worth like, it's like 999,000 star chips or something like that, and you get like 6 every battle. It's absolutely ridiculous. They do actually have Exodia here though, so that is a victory condition. They kept that. But somewhere in here, there'll be like a chart. Here we go. The Cosmic Alignment chart. So basically you get 500 extra attack points if your monster's Cosmic Alignment you know, is super effective against another monster's Cosmic Alignment. And it's a really interesting aspect of the game that can, particularly in the early game, actually like win you the match. But yeah, it's a little hard to keep track of because they're all astrological signs and you don't really know why necessarily one beats the other. So you really have to keep this handy all the time. So it's a bit of an impenetrable game in that sense. But I think the music is really good and the presentation is really good, and just the atmosphere of the game manages to elevate it into something that you want to keep playing and keep engaging with. And the core gameplay is quite fun. But yeah, I think just the context of the presentation, particularly if you like Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, like I was huge on Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid. If you like all that sort of thing, you know, you really will get a kick out of this game. You know, it's such a unique part of Yu-Gi-Oh history. So in it, even though you can fuse any cards whatsoever, they do also have ritual cards, and I've never come across one of these in the actual game, but it's showing you there like how you use Black Luster Ritual to like sacrifice some monsters to then summon Black Luster Soldier. I should say I've never actually beaten this game yet. It's on my to-do list, but I haven't really had enough of a chance to do it. And you can always bring up these cool 3D battle sequences, which look really good. Every single monster has a unique animation. You just unfortunately, because the AI is tuned so high and they use so many powerful fusions, you really don't get to see that many of the cool 3D ones. And of course the AI never uses 3D ones. Tayana's advice. Gosh, but Grandma, your eyes are so big. So yeah, so she's basically teaching you how to grind and learn fusion patterns, and you know, trying to give some tips for the game, because it's a very hard game, this one. It doesn't start too hard, although you can make some choices early on, but it'll get you into battles that you likely cannot win without like a full understanding of the systems and the fusions and some better cards. So, and you also get a randomized deck every time you start the game. So, you know, there's some randomized decks you get that are much worse than others. But anyway, that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. This is still basically my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. I just really get a kick out of it. So if you've never played it, I would recommend just taking a look at it if you like Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it's an interesting piece. As I say, with beautiful cover art. So thank you very much for watching, and please, yeah, if you'd like to support my own work, then you can check out the physical release of 8-Bit Adventures 2 in the description below. So please give that a look on Limited Run Games, and I'll see you next time.